also said that if Erica is who Scrappy chooses, she said, "Welcome to the queen, welcome to the kingdom." You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She
said, "Okay, I'm gonna ride with that."
She said because that's who he chooses. I don't choose for the prince. Is basically what she said.
Yeah.
So what happens? I'm saying is when it's your family, right? You know, or when it's not even when it's your mama, right? If you're in a heterosexual relationship, what happens when it's his mama? Like Martin and Gina.
With Mama Payne just always
with Mama Payne, you know.
I don't like that muscle butt applehead heifer, right?
I'm just saying, how is that handled? And especially ask the men and whoever's tuning in, put it out there to the men. You know, how do you deal with an interfering family member, be it your mother, your sister? Because I've been in a few relationships where I've had to, you know, kind of let a sister know, like, but then I realized I am that sister, so then I, you know, I chilled a little bit. I mean, when I'm not really that interfering, my brothers do what they want to do, but they know I'm not afraid to check anybody. You know.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. Let me just.
Excuse me.
Yeah, and I make it known I don't like somebody.
We know.
So,
I've dealt with them. I've had a mother in the same relationship with the person that I really should not have been with in the first place. His mother, she meddled because she micromanaged him and she browbeat him. She was really emotionally abusive, and I found myself telling him, okay, I can't tell your mother this, only you can tell her this, because whatever I tell her, she is in one ear and out the other. You're going to have to tell her that it's not okay for her to call me and tell me how you can be a better man, a better partner for me. That's not going to work.
So it wasn't even about who you were for him. It was about who he was.
It's like, you know, he ain't about as much as you think he is, and it's only a matter of time before he fuck up and nah. And I was just like,
she was running interference for the away team.
Yeah, and it was also, I mean, and ultimately is because she wanted to control whatever she could of his, you know, of his existence. He moved far away from home. You know, he was in school. We were dating. It wasn't even, I can't even say it was like not wanting to let him leave the nest. It was like this weird, like, I don't want you to be happy thing. So I'm going to sabotage everything of yours I possibly can. And some people are saboteurs.
Well, I mean, you know, but the thing is that what happens when it's the mom?
That's creepy.
Or the sister.
That's weird, yeah.
Or the, you know,
when it's your
the grandma
sibling
that raised you.
Right.
What happens when it's that? Because how do you navigate that? And especially as the person who's in the relationship and you know your mom is running interference.
How do you erect a healthy boundary? Is there a way to do it?
I mean, and you know, like, and my thing is that when I'm in the relationship and I know that, you know, parents, family, you know, siblings are running interference in a relationship that I have with this person. If it's my family, then I'm like, look, this is none of your business, you know, which is another reason why I kind of keep my relationships. I have a tendency to keep my relationships private. But having that ability to say, look, you know, but then, you know, do you heed your family more so than you would do your friends because this is your family?
Right. Or is it, I mean, I guess just like with friends, we have that one person who really, there's always someone who is really just in it because they want your attention. Mm-hmm. There's always somebody they're like a streaker at a football game. Like, you really just want some fucking attention and you want to stir the pot, you want to interrupt things. And then there are people who are genuinely concerned. But if you tend to keep those things, you know, you tend not to really have those conversations with family, or not to really introduce your partner around to family until you've been together for a considerable amount of time. You know, I just lost my thought. Okay, so if it's been a while and you're establishing a relationship with this person and you haven't really brought them around family or like that, how do you know where it's coming from? Is it possible to determine at all where it's coming from? Like, do you have any, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it easier to, I would think that it'll be easier to gauge where that judgment, where that concern, where that interference is coming from if you know you really haven't brought that person around all like that. Because I got that one, I think, I had a dream, and it was, you know, they talking about dreaming about elephants and dead fish and shit.
Oh, girl, I didn't like the way he shot, you know, he tied his shoes, so.
Yeah.
Anybody
why he got on them shoes with that shirt?
Anybody who don't eat this kind of potato salad, something wrong.
Yeah, he don't eat my potato salad. I ain't got nothing to say. You know, that auntie. Because I have one of those.
I mean, that's easy to ignore, but when it's, you know, when it's a family member or a friend, you know, not a family member or a friend, when it's a family member, when it's, you know, when it's a family member that is running interference on your relationship, meaning this is your family member running interference on your relationship, the erecting of the boundary, is it easier?
I would imagine it being harder. I've never had to do it, but I would imagine it being extremely difficult.
And I always think, you know, I've been on the side where it's the family and running interference from him, but just because he was culturally, we weren't the same. Right? We didn't match up culturally. So it's the family saying, well, no, I want you to be with someone who's like us. There's nothing wrong with her, but she's just not, she doesn't understand our culture. We're not of the same culture.
She's an outsider.
So that them running that kind of interference on me, you know, and me, you know, dealing, and that interference showing up in, you know, I'm coming to the family function and, you know, who brought you? Or you're speaking a different language around me. You know, on purpose, when you know I don't understand it, you know, and that kind of interference. And of course, like, this relationship didn't last long because I don't have the patience for that. But
right, and at what point do you, as a partner, when your family's running that kind of interference, at what point do you choose to advocate for your relationship or for your partner?
Well, I didn't even, you know, my thing is like, I don't want to create strife between you and your family. We're not that involved. We like each other, and, you know, this is cool, but ultimately your family may have a point.
Right.
You know?
Right. But also,
because there's some things that you think that because who I am, I should be doing, and that's a part of your culture, which I am not a part of.
Right, and that's your expectation for anybody you're going to spend a significant amount of time with or spend the rest of your life with.
So, you know, you think about your family running interference. Does it make things different?
Is it better, quote unquote? Is it, or do you feel like it's more likely to come from a genuine place?
Right.
Because I think, you know, for me, just in my observations, my sister's married to a white man. And at their wedding, one of my aunts, who did not know that my brother-in-law is white, leaned over and said to me, I can't believe you didn't tell her not to date him. I was like, I can't, because it's not my relationship. And if he makes her happy and he treats her well, that's not, you know, that's my business. That's not it's not for me to interfere in, to jump into. And, you know, I think that aunt, bless her heart, tends to meddle in people's business anyway, just out of sheer boredom. So I let it go. But I think there's some value to that, depending on what the situation is, of course. That familial concern, you know, somebody who loves you, somebody who has known you your whole life, somebody who really is genuinely invested in your well-being. But that's not always true. That's not always the case, even with family.
I don't know, Twitterland, if you guys still with us, let us know. What do you think?
Does your auntie to mind her business?
Is it when are you heeding your family more so than your friends when it comes down to running interference? Mm-hmm. When your mom says, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it different than when your homegirl says, oh, girl, no. Girl, bye.
Well, what happens when your sibling says, yeah, I know that person. I know this person you're dating. I know this person from doing X, Y, and Z. I seen this motherfucker in the club last week with that stripper that know how to make $1 dance. Like, does that have an impact? Does it? Should it? I would like to know. Inquiring minds would like to know. We're interested.
I'll tell you what, if my brother tells me he saw something, because my brothers are very much so like not about like if they interfere, I don't know they interfere. Mm-hmm. It's all nonverbal cues. Mm-hmm. Like the few times my brothers have met, you know, except for when they were little. Mm-hmm. I won't tell that story. When they were little and they didn't, you know, the bass in the voice wasn't there.
They didn't know.
And it was, you know.
Yeah, before they were out there.
Sister.
Don't talk to my sister like that. Get off my sister.
Why you touch my sister?
Get off my sister.
Right, but you know, as adults.
You her boyfriend.
As adults, you know, what happens when right. Our brother or sister says, hey, I don't know about dude. I might be wrong, but I think, you know, I saw some you know, not some suspect shit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you listening to your brother?
Yeah.
Just asking. I think I would listen to my brother personally.
I would listen to I have one sister I would listen to and one sister I wouldn't.
I have a tendency to not listen to my sisters when they run interference. Mm-hmm. Because I have brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I have one sister I would definitely listen to, and one I'd be like, yeah, no.
I don't know. It's just something to put out there.
So we're gonna take a musical break. What? Hopefully y'all will answer us, because we don't, you know, we like it when y'all talk to us.
And if not, then we'll just keep on talking.
We're going to have this conversation betwixt ourselves.
But it's something to think about, you know, when you're replaying the HH4L. You know, do you heed your family more than your friends when they interfere in your relationship? When is your family the type to really mean it when they interfere? Mm-hmm. You know? Miss Kiana B says, sometimes family members' reasons for interfering aren't always about us or for our best interest. I'm just saying.
Agreed.
Very true.
Yeah, I have one aunt that wants to know everybody's business all the time, and she really she needs a hobby.
It's, you know, it's weird because I think most of the time when men's mothers interfere in their relationship, most of the time the woman thinks that you know, like, don't she have something better to do?
Right.
You know. And I guess it's I've never had someone's mother interfere in a relationship. Most of the time they like me. Mm-hmm. Not that it means anything, but most of the time they usually like me. But I've seen it in other people's relationships where the mom is like, you know, real stank.
She'll sit in between on the couch every motherfucking time. So what are we doing tonight? Like,
real stank.
Yeah.
You know, y'all. I mean, not even sitting on between y'all on the couch, but it's I'm calling you. I'm sending messages. I'm showing up at the house.
Yeah. Or I call you.
Are you at the
cookout?
Which is something literally crazy I witnessed. I remember being at a friend's family function, and I saw her mother literally shoulder check her brother's girlfriend as she was coming out of the kitchen. Like, the girl was coming in the kitchen to help, And her mother was like, we don't need no help. What do you say?
That is fucked up.